How was your day?
It was good.
Speak up so they can hear you.
Hello?
Here we are. Another fun episode. It's Street or Gym. Before we get into workout stuff, we were talking about the world a little bit in this crazy week. People buying crazy amounts of AMC and GameStop stock to take these big hedge fund managers that were trying to short it and make a bunch of money at the people's expense and the company's expense. Because those are two companies that are having a rough time. And the people said, not going to take it. And, that's what America's about, I think, at least to some degree. And I read an article this afternoon about AMC was on the brink of bankruptcy, and as of these recent events, now they're not. So that's kind of cool. I mean, we go to the movies once in a while, take the kids once in a while, but since COVID, I can see where AMC's hurting.
Yeah. But a lot of people like going all the time, so.
Yeah, and a lot of them haven't been to or haven't been able to. So, power to the people. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's awesome that people are saying, screw you, big corporate hedge fund people. And
taking it over to some extent.
yeah, and I didn't get in on it. If I had heard about it a little sooner, I might have. It's a little too rich for my blood now. As far as maybe it's because I'm getting a little older, but I'm not gonna buy GameStop stock personally at $300 a share or $200 a share. But when it was low and people said and heard about the hedge fund thing, there was this big Reddit article and a bunch of people started buying and it shot way up. At one point it was over $400. And what I think is really cool is a bunch of little folks that, I don't know, but people who bought $10, $100, $1,000, they didn't have $1 million or $100,000 to win. But not only do they buy it, but they're holding it.
Yeah, regular folks like us.
And they're holding on to it, regardless of what it does, because that hedge fund company that shorted this, in my understanding, they're going to have to pay a boatload of money because they got to buy their shares back at the value that it's at. The way it's a little bit above my pay grade. I've read about it over the years a little bit. I tend to buy things that pay dividends and hold on to them. But it's kind of cool. I heard that hedge fund is pretty much out of business. I don't have proof of that. Maybe they had to go bankrupt or whatever, but it's
Interesting.
The big corporate blah, blah, blah lost out to a bunch of people that said, we're going to get in on this.
Right.
And I'm not a gamer, but all the kids are.
Mm-hmm.
Tons of friends that are. They're supporting something that, I've only been in there with the kids and bought stuff for the kids, but
we've spent plenty of money at GameStop.
But I know you can buy that stuff on Amazon,
right.
Another big corporate thing. But there's nothing like walking into the store.
Right.
Walking
out with it. Yeah.
We were in Vernon last weekend, and you pointed out that's where the video store used to be. That's their Blockbuster Video, was for us when we were younger.
Right. You go in, you buy it, you come home.
You don't get the clicker out for your remote and go online and pick. You had to go to the store and you had to go, oh, this is the new one. Oh, there's something behind it. Oh, it's some asshole put the wrong thing there. Damn it, I can't watch it till tomorrow or next week. But that was half of the fun. Well, I hope GameStop stays in business and does well, and I hope this sends a message to the really big hedge fund people that don't pick on behind somebody while they're down.
Yeah.
Like,
we'll see.
it's no different than, and I used to be a little bit of an asshole. I still probably am to some people. But I used to not like January 1st to like March 1st at the gym. Before we had this year in the garage, I used to go for a gym. Because all the New Year's resolution people would come out. But I got better, and I'd be like, oh, they're just going to be in the way. They aren't going to know what they're doing. When I was more selfish. And it's like, now I try to go, do it. Like, I don't want to. The old version of me is like the hedge fund asshole, quite frankly. I want to encourage people, go do it. Like, kind of like, go to GameStop, buy some shit from them, so they don't go out of business.
Yeah.
Now, if they have screwed up their business model based on supply and demand, maybe they do need to scale it back a little bit once all this is over.
Yeah.
But I hope they stay in business. Same
Or
thing
all
with the movie theater.
stores.
Kind of like all the restaurants right now. Mom and pop, yeah, all that stuff. Like, that have been shut down or at 25% or 50%, depending where you're at in the country.
Go and support that.
Yeah, like, we go to a chain every now and then. I mean, you get a gift card from Christmas or from 2 years ago from Christmas sometimes because we leave them in a thing and we forget about them. But we also like going to the local place.
Right.
That's,
more often than not.
Yeah.
Really.
So support all that stuff. Support everybody. Kind of like today, the guys from work that I've talked about in the past, young guy couldn't make it today. Not because he didn't want to, not because he didn't plan to. His brother's an over-the-road truck driver and hit him up midday or after lunch, I think. I saw Darius after work. He's like, man, my afternoon's going to suck. And I'm like, is it because we're doing back and you don't like that? And he laughed and he's like, no. He's like, my brother's stranded in Waco. His truck's broke down. It's going to take him 5 or 6 days to fix it. So I'm going to go pick him up. I'm like, oh, so you got to drive. But we're in Dallas. It's Waco. It's, I don't know, hour and a half or so. I'm like, it's not Austin. It's not Houston. And he's just a good guy. Like, I'm not going to leave my brother stranded down there for 5 or 6 days. I'm just going to pick him up for the weekend.
But he's going to miss his workout.
Going to miss his workout. He wasn't happy about that. And he's been doing great. And, but anyhow, and then I just texted him a little bit ago. And I'm like, hey, we'll be working out tomorrow. What's your day like? And he's like, it's a chill day for me. Let me know. I'll come up tomorrow. So he'll get it in tomorrow. It'll all be fine. As far in his world. And then Tony, the older gentleman, had a bunch of stuff going on the past 3 days, but he came over today and I put him through his paces considering where he's at. And a couple hours passed, I texted him too, how you feeling? Had a good workout today? And he's like, I feel great. And him and I talked a little bit today. I'm trying to push him, coach him. I'm like, you got to push yourself. Like, a lot of it's right here. And he kind of looked at me like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, no. I said, I told him, I'm like, Tony, I'm like, you're a big dude. I'm like, you need to be able to like the old standard when I was younger was you need to be able to bench press your body weight for like 10 reps. A lot of people thought that, believed in that. Tony's 53. He never, like I said, he never hadn't done this until the past month. And he's got some weight to lose, and he's working. That's part of this. Like, he's been doing the treadmill,
right,
along with, lifting weights, and his strength has gone up quickly in 3 or 4 weeks in some areas. And in some areas, I'm like, listen, this will either make you really good at this or hold you back. And I told him, I said, you know what you got to do? You got to use this to not hold you back. No different than the people that bought a bunch of GameStop stock or AMC stock. Like, don't let this hold you back. And I'm guilty of that. Like, I've gotten a little comfortable. I told you Brent texted me earlier today. He had bought some crypto and made some really good returns on it, and then he sold it. And it was one of the lesser known ones, but I'm like, I'm proud of you, cool, that's awesome. And then we texted back and forth for a little while. I had a few minutes, and I told him I was getting some shirts made. And he mentioned that Kristen could probably make some shirts for me. I'm like, well, I'm getting some screen printed ones. I'm checking quality. And I said, because if my plan goes the way I want it to, I'm not going to order 20 shirts. I'm going to order like 1,000 shirts at once. And I think he didn't reply back, but I think he was like, what the hell is this guy thinking? But this has held me back from doing this for a long time. I did a little research, started doing some research this week about like supplements and maybe doing a supplement line. Like, I'm not going to stop at just training a couple guys. I want to help, like, I don't know, thousands of people.
However many people you can, yeah.
Like, I want people to do well, be well, feel happy. I want to motivate people. I've kind of come up with a slogan. It might change, but the gym slogan is work your ass off. And I've done that my whole life. Probably to a fault sometimes when it comes to like work. Part of it's how I grew up. And it's ingrained in me. Family dairy farm, 365 days a year.
Twice a day you milk the cows.
Yeah, you get up at 4:30 in the morning, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. During deer season, you might get up at 3:30 and milk the cows a half hour early, so for 14 days, 15 days, you could go sit in the woods in the morning before the sun was all the way up. That was the only exception my father ever made. So, anyhow, yeah.
Work your ass off.
Every day, all the time. And if you don't, you should probably feel bad about it. I know when I don't, every once in a while I don't. Every once in a while I have a day where I'm like, I'm just going to coast through this day. And usually when I do that at my day job right now, about the time it's time to go home, everything goes to shit. And I think it's God's way or nature's way of saying, you should have worked your ass off and this probably wouldn't have happened. Even if something totally out of my hands. But like, that's usually what happens. So, yeah.
Well, we came home, we worked out. You can't tell that I worked out because I'm still in my work scrubs. But,
Pajamas.
But I worked at work, took a walk at work at lunch, and came home and worked out. There's no point in changing at that point. So,
No, it was back in biceps day.
Yeah. It was fun.
And the young guy and myself lately, we've been doing some pyramiding up and pyramiding down with our workouts. In other words, we do our warm up and we start adding weight and we add weight and we add weight and we add weight. And then we take the small plates off and work our way back down. Volume training, pyramiding up, pyramiding down, like keeping the blood flow in your muscles. A, it helps with strength, and B, it helps make you look good. It's kind of like cardio with weights, especially if you don't stop. If you have a couple different exercises, you go back and forth between. So I've been trying to do a fair amount of that, and not lifting super heavy.
For your joints.
Yeah, your joints, muscles. I tweaked my leg, 2 weeks ago, and my leg workouts have not been very good since then. I think I'll have a decent one tomorrow.
He's kind of grumpy about that.
Getting older and wiser, isn't fun because when you want to do the young dumb things and you hurt yourself, you think, well, I should have been smarter about this. I still like to think that I'm 25.
Here you are.
Sometimes I'm 25 on Saturday night, right?
Well, that too.
I mean, she plays along pretty well. Anyhow, yeah. It's been a good week.
Busy for both of us at work.
Yeah, I had some things
Glad
to
for a
overcome
weekend.
this week at work. I'm actually going to do a little bit of work tomorrow. Erica's going to help me go pick a truck up and get it back to the shop. And I really don't mind doing that because it puts me in a better spot on Monday. Like, some people are like, oh, take your day off. Well, I mean, it's going to take a couple hours out of our day, maybe 3. But I'll get to go see the mechanics that have been working on it. We'll talk about what they did. I got another truck over there. We can talk about that. And everything will be better on Monday if we go do this tomorrow. So that's what it's all about. Sometimes you gotta work your ass off even when you don't want to. So everybody have a great Friday evening. You got anything else?
No.
You're kind of quiet tonight.
Sorry. I talked a lot at work today as a speech pathologist.
What's tomorrow? It's your favorite day?
Saturday, which is leg day, which is great. So, been working hard on that. So, swimsuit season is coming up. I work on it.
2-piece?
We'll see.
I'm
Hopefully.
gonna get a 2-piece. Have a great Friday evening.